3. And we are back with another Created Moments interview, man. Just to let y'all know, man, I am very excited about this interview right here, man. Met this man through his wife on Instagram, man. They ended up working with him and his son for a whole season. It was an amazing experience, man. Look out for Khalil Thompson on the way. He's on the come up. Just like his dad, man. We got one of the best running backs to come out of the state of Florida, Florida State running back, NFL running back, played for the Redskins for 6 years and a couple teams after that, man. We are here with Chris Thompson. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm good, man. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here in front of this camera. Glad to have you here with Creative Moments, man. And we just gonna hop straight into it, man. So, what was early life like for you?
So I was born in San Diego, military kid. My dad was in the Marines, and when I was young, we ended up moving back to Florida, where my dad grew up. Mom was from Chicago, so for her, for some reason, she always wanted to be like in a small town, live in a small town, and so we eventually ended up moving back down in Florida, in Greenville, Florida, little very small town. We got 2 caution lights, 1 grocery store, 2 gas stations. It's pretty much it. Not much to do, but I mean, growing up there was one of the biggest blessings for me. I would say in my life, for my career, it was one of those everybody knew everybody. I was one of those kids. I was always shy, quiet, didn't really get in trouble. Played sports all my life since I was like 6 or 7 years old, and because it was a small town, everybody knew about Chris T. Everybody, that's what they called me. From one of my first grade teachers, Miss Henry, she started calling me Chris T. I think we had like 5 Chris's in the class or something like that. And that name has carried on with me my entire life. Every time I go back home, I'm Chris T. But my childhood, I think my childhood was amazing. Growing up, I felt like we didn't struggle for anything. I had meals. I felt like I had, normal problems that everybody else did, where sometimes the lights were out, sometimes we didn't have hot water, things like that or whatever. But it was nothing that really, you think about or stress about or whatever as a kid. I'm just having fun. My parents letting me just be a kid, play sports, and just have fun. And, I didn't really truly understand the struggles that we had and we dealt with until I became an adult and started having a lot more conversations. But just going back to growing up, my early years, like I said, my dad was in the Marines, but when we moved down here, parents got divorced shortly after, and my mom met my stepdad, and they've been together for the last 30 years. I have a great relationship with my biological father still. We've had some rocky moments, and some I've even posted like on social media and stuff about it. But it's good, and I would say like I am very grateful to have 2 father figures in my life, because they both shown me 2 totally different sides of life. I mean, just talking to my dad and the things that he's even been through as a kid. He lost both of his parents by the time he was, I think, 12 years old. Yeah. And his dad was in the Navy, and their ship got lost in the Bermuda Triangle. And so he lost his dad at a pretty early age, and then his mom passed away later on. So we're talking about preteen years. He had two brothers. He's living with his aunt, and he's basically having to be dad to his two younger brothers. So he really had to grow up fast, and he went through a whole lot. But I'm appreciative for him, and you know, his experiences have taught me a lot too, and gave me a whole nother perspective on life, and I get to see and understand why he took or made the decisions that he did, throughout his life. And, I get to be, talking to him, being around him, I get to realize who I am. There's some stuff that he can give me and he can talk to me about that, sometimes my stepdad can't, because just, genetically it's just different. But then on the other side of it, my stepdad, man, like I said, he's been married to my mom for 30 years. And he's cared for me. He cared for me and my older brother like we were his blood. And I'm talking about from day one. And you can't tell anybody in this world that we're not his boys. And I love that man with all my heart. And, I would say my mom, she did good. She did. I would say she did good by him. And he, just being with him every day, he was one of those, he believed in me from, I'm talking about 4 or 5 years old. He was, what do you want to do in your life? And I always told him, like, I want to be a football player. And he was like, all right, well, if that's what you want to do, then we're going to put our best foot forward, and I'm going to do everything I can do to help you get there. And with that, it wasn't always easy, because he, when it came to practices, whether it was baseball, basketball, football, track, he was always getting me there. Even when he had double shifts and stuff, he was always the one, having to make sometimes an hour drive to come pick me up from practice, and then an hour back to take me home, and then having to go to work right after that. He did everything he needed to do to help me get to where I wanted to, ultimately be in life. And he grew up in that small town, so he didn't really experience and see as much in this world as my biological father did. So I'm thankful now that he's able to, because of, everything he poured into me. Now I'm able to help him see a lot more that's outside of what Greenville or Madison County is. And he loves and enjoys and appreciates, every single thing, every single moment that, he gets to have. And even some of those moments he enjoys with me, he's always very appreciative and always telling me thank you. And it's like, a part of me, like, I feel like, I wouldn't say like I owe him that, but he deserves that, but he's still always appreciative of things like that. And yeah, it was, it was amazing. I felt like I had a great childhood. It was, didn't get exposed to a lot. So it wasn't a lot that I knew about, but because it was so small, so tight knit, not a lot of people like left out of the town and, moved to bigger cities or anything. So it was, whoever you grew up with, them same people were there pretty much all the way through high school, and sometimes even college, because we had a little small community college. So it was good.
So, growing up in in such a small town, man, do you think that made your family closer? Was the people down the street able to give you a whooping just like your parents was, or was it kind of different?
Oh, absolutely. Nah, it was just like that. Like, or if they didn't want to do it, they already knew. Like, I'm calling your mama, I'm calling your daddy, I'm calling Maurice and Miss Sant. Like, everybody got everybody's phone number too, so it's like you act up if you want to. I'm gonna either whoop you, or I'm gonna get your parents, and they gonna be right here. So like we ain't never have issues, too much, especially with the group of friends I had where we really got in trouble and stuff like that. But yeah, you knew. Like, you ain't getting in no trouble and your parents not finding out, because they can either drive up to your house, walk to your house. I mean, it's very small, so yeah, everybody knew everybody. So you're not getting away with anything.
Yeah, they'll grab you by your ear and drag you back
Absolutely.
home.
Yep, for sure.